Joining me right now is former White House chief strategist, the host of the wildly popular War Room podcast. Steve Bannon is here. Steve, thanks very much for joining us. Give us your assessment of what has taken place over the last 48 hours.
President Trump won an overwhelming victory on Tuesday night with certifiable, verifiable, legal votes. The fact is the president was reelected. And the president, the Roman Republic had a saying, fortune favors boldness. It's now time to be bold, and that's why you see people like Rick Grinnell, Dave Bossie, Corey Lewandowski, Sidney Powell, Rudy Giuliani involved in this process. We got to stop playing games here. We got to stop playing games and allow this narrative that's coming up with the same people that used information warfare. Polls in Wisconsin showing him 17 points down. Charlie Cook saying it's going to be a historic landslide like Reagan beats Mondale. Those were lies. That wasn't just kind of guys getting data wrong. Those were lies. That part of the media apparatus and social media that keeps trying to take President Trump down, we've talked about this for months on your show. That's all a lie. That's all a mirage. The fact is Donald Trump won an overwhelming victory, and you see that in the Senate. You see that in the House. You see it in the state legislatures, all down ticket. He won an overwhelming victory. If in the federal courts now in Nevada, in Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Arizona, if we can get a fair count of verifiable, certifiable, legal votes, President Trump will win those. But if you can't do it, you got to stop treating Biden like he means. Biden has no standing. He's a feckless old man wandering around a car dealership in Wilmington, Delaware, and he should be treated with the dismissive contempt of that. President Trump won an overwhelming victory. He should start acting right now in his second term. He should fire the FBI director. He should put in process implement to fire Fauci. He should start manning up for his second term with guys like Rick Grinnell. The other thing is, remember, there's multiple paths that if you want to get to the inauguration for his second term on the 20th of January, and he's got to implement, he has a moral obligation to implement the will of the people that elected him on the 3rd of November. There are multiple paths to get there. If you can get a fair vote of verifiable legal ballots, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Nevada will fall for him. Obviously, Georgia and North Carolina already have. He'll be reelected. If you can't get that, you control, by the way, conservatives that have strict interpretation of the Constitution control the courts, including the Supreme Court. We control the state legislatures. We control the party delegations in the House of Representatives. In Nancy Pelosi's House, in January, Donald Trump will be overwhelmingly reelected president of the United States. We need to start acting like that. Fortune favors boldness, and the president should start acting bold. It happened because people around started acting. The president should have stepped up at 10 o'clock at night when he won Ohio and won Florida with overwhelming Hispanic support, a historic black support, overwhelming working class and middle class support, and claimed his victory and said, hey, I'm going to go into federal court right now and make sure they can't steal this election. The same people that used all the big lies, all the information warfare, and laid out all this nonsense beforehand were rejected by the American people on Election Day. You can't, in the middle of the night in Wisconsin, in Michigan, and in Pennsylvania, allow them to steal it. We become a banana republic. The president should start executing on his second term today. He should also, in federal court, if we can get a vote, if we can get a count that's verifiable, legal, certifiable, with chain of custody of all these mail-in votes. If he can do that, he'll win those states. If you can't do that, it's not the end of the world. We control the state legislatures, we control the courts, and most importantly, Nancy Pelosi went out of her way to flip these delegations. We control, by I think 28 to 22, the delegations in the House of Representatives. They are the ultimate people that will vote for Donald Trump to be president. Let me give you a fact. Donald Trump won on November 3rd, and Donald Trump is going to be inaugurated on the 20th of January, 2021. And the Democrats are just going to have to live with that. I don't care how much whining they're going to have, how big a temper tantrum. Treat Biden like the feckless old man he is, wandering around Wilmington, Delaware in a car dealership. Dismiss everything. I don't care about his website, his transition.
Steve,
Trump's already in his second term. What?
But we're looking at the Electoral College votes, and the president is lagging there. What are these lawsuits going to do?
You're not,
I want
Maria,
you to walk through what took place.
That's not... Maria, you're buying into the narrative. That's absolutely not true. Because right now they're not counting Georgia, they're not counting North Carolina, they're not counting Pennsylvania. He was up by 800,000 votes. All of these votes, these mail-in votes, can't be certified. They can't be verified. Many of them are going to be illegal. That's why Rick Grinnell's in Nevada doing this right now. Let's go to court and go through every vote and see if they can all be certified. By the way, if you can't, once you're able to do it, Trump will win that vote. But if you can't do it, it's not the end of the world. Kick it to the state legislatures.
Are they going to be able
kick it to
do
the House of Representatives.
Walk through what took place in the dead of the night. Walk through what took place in the dead of the night in Wisconsin and Michigan. Walk through what happened in the dead of the night in Wisconsin and Michigan.
These guys held back. Remember, when the president got up there at 2:30, people thought at the night it was going to stop counting. These people held back uncertifiable, unverifiable mail-in votes and dumped them in the middle of the night. So you went to bed, the nation went to bed thinking Donald Trump won an overwhelming victory. The people, the working class people that voted for him, they woke up in the morning and said in the dead of the night in Michigan and in Wisconsin and now in Pennsylvania, they're stealing it. They're not going to sit there and accept that. The president has a moral obligation to implement the will of the people that voted on November 3rd. Okay? All he's got to focus on, forget the fog of war, focus on the objective. The objective is to be inaugurated on the 20th. There are multiple paths to get there, and you control the high ground in most of those paths. Just go to federal court. If they can't verify every vote, then, hey, it goes to state, it goes to state legislature, it goes to Nancy Pelosi's house where we win. Donald Trump, the media is going to have to accept a very unpleasant fact. Overwhelming victory was claimed by the Trump movement in the Senate, in the House, in the state legislatures. Yeah. They're going to have to understand that Donald Trump is the president of the United States and will remain the president of the United States.
So you think these lawsuits are going to be successful? You think that these lawsuits will identify fraud and expose it? The campaign is suing these states, the latest Nevada. Okay.
They will expose how they tried to steal this, how these are uncertifiable, how they have no chain of custody. And if it gets kicked to the state legislature, if it gets kicked to the House, that's fine, because we win there also. You win on a real count of real ballots. You win in the state legislatures, you'll win in the courts, and you'll win in the House of Representatives and the Senate. We have the high ground on every mode of victory. We have to start acting like that, and he should start his second administration today.
All right, we will leave it there, Steve. You made a great case.